Hi everybody, Jill here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a Wig Chat. We're taking a look at another Estetica wig today. I think what really grabbed me with this one is how it just, to me, exemplifies fall in both the color here, looks absolutely gorgeous, and out of the style as well. It is a longer style. It's called Verona, and the color, I'm gonna flash up here. I just put the box away and I can't remember the color code, but I'll put it up here somewhere. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. This will be a first impression. That's my really favorite way to do these wig chats because it is a first impression. It's what this looks like right out of the box on my head. And sometimes there's a little struggling there, and by the end, I usually can feel comfortable in it, playing with it a bit, styling it a little bit. And that is what you have to do for the most part. Most of the time, you know, these just don't go on your head looking fabulous. You have to mess with them. So that's what we're going to be doing today. This is a first impression straight out of the box on my head. Wow, first of all, I was right. This color does just scream fall to me. It is a warm blonde. I would say, and go so far as to say, it's really kind of a warm brown with blonde sort of highlights. And it is very pretty. But holy cow, putting this on my head, this is a large cap. This is quite large in every way for me because I tend to be a sort of average petite. This is quite a large cap. I mean, it is coming down really far here on the sides. That ear tab is just really all the way down here. I mean, it gives me fabulous coverage. You know, this is coming out way out here. The nape comes down. I mean, I could pull this down quite a ways, but I'm not. I'm going to stick it up there because that's so uncomfortable, you guys. That was one of the things that I did in the beginning, and I've talked about this several times, that I just thought you really had to get that nape down quite far, and it stayed it. You know, I kind of used that adhesive, and I would pull it down, and I would hold it down here. Oh my gosh, that ended up just being so uncomfortable because when you turn your head, it's right there. When you look up, it pops. It's just so uncomfortable. So really, if I could go back in time and tell myself in the beginning of my wig journey, one of the things would be, Jill, you do not have to wear the nape so far down on the back of your neck. It's okay for it to kind of slide a little bit up and just sort of stay right about that occipital bone area. That's going to feel comfortable. But if you're like me and you have kind of a flat head, you have to utilize some other way to secure it there. So I either have to wear some sort of low ponytail in the back so I could tuck it under that, you know, or some other form, because my wigs just wouldn't stay on my head even if I adjusted these little tabs. Wow, this color is stunning, gorgeous, truly. Now, with that said, I would have to dry shampoo this a little bit. This is a little too shiny for me, you know, and however, you know, it's not a super light blonde, so it's not screaming at me that it is super shiny. I don't know. It is, though. I definitely think in the sun it might be a bit much. I'll have to sit with it for a while and see how I feel about that. I do drag my feet a little when I feel like I need to dry shampoo a longer style like this, because I love dry shampoo because it does change the texture and allows styling to just kind of take on this whole new dimension. But with a longer wig, you know, you don't want to mess with that texture too much because everything will really end up sticking together. And it's kind of a whole different ball game with longer wigs with the dry shampoo, I think. So I might just utilize it kind of really lightly right here in the top and leave all of this alone and just not even spray anything. So I won't go at it the whole wig with the dry shampoo. I think I'll just be really precise on where I think I should put some and start really light and just build it as I need it. Well, let's take a look at this general style here because wow, wow, wow. First of all, the realism of the style itself is undeniably fantastic. You know, this is what a real, I don't know how to explain it when I say that, other than it's not overly styled. Do you know what I mean? It's not overly like you did hot curlers to it and it took you 4 hours, you know, to get it to look like this. This is just sort of out of the shower, maybe blow dry, straighten the top and head out the door. You know, you're one of those lucky people that have just that little bit of natural wave. You know what I mean? It's not an overly styled piece, and I think that makes this so real. The realism of this is just pushed out quite a bit because of that. Yeah. Wow. I just am just getting those fibers really kind of freed and up and off the cap. That alone is going to take it from maybe looking a little wiggy to completely eliminating that. You would be surprised how many people are petrified to really get in there and get these fibers moving. And I hope that if you learn nothing from me at all, the one thing you take away would be to get the fibers off the cap and don't be afraid to manipulate them carefully and gently, but don't be so afraid of these fibers where you don't feel like you can do that. You know, you can use your hands and your fingers, a wide tooth pick like this, and you're totally fine. But I do recommend doing that. So this has a full monofilament top. It does. It has a full monofilament top, and that means that you're going to have it's just going to look like those fibers are just growing right out of your scalp. And that's the beauty and the magic of monofilament. And this has a full crown of it. So lovely. So this does have that 4 root, so it is quite a darker root. Now when we pull it back, you know, that's where you can see that 4. That's quite a dark root, but I think they did it really pretty. I mean, here's an example. You can see the lighter sort of fibers, that light color that goes all the way down. So it's there, it's lightly there, but it is, and I think that helps with that transition. It's not like a line, like root color, you know, and you know, I can see the light fibers that are in there. So that's nice. Plus, the way that this is styled and the way it sort of falls, that rooting isn't going to be in your face unless you know, style it back. Then obviously, you know, you're going to see that a little bit more. I'm going to say it again. You have to keep in mind your eyebrows and the color of your eyebrows when you wear wigs. If you are like me and you just absolutely have to have some kind of root in that wig, even if it's a brunette, I still like to have sort of a shadow in there. Some sort of, I just do. I just think that even though in real life, our own hair, our goal is to not really have roots and grow out, but with wigs, to me, it just really adds to that realism. So I have to have a root. So if I were to wear this wig, I would have to definitely darken my brows. I was wearing Shaded Cappuccino, which is a much lighter color, and so I sort of went with that. This is a much darker root, so I would not go crazy dark on my eyebrows. I can't carry that off, especially because I have fair skin, but not just that. It's just, I think it's a softer look, not going too dark with the brows when you're my age, even if the hair is a little darker. But I do feel like I would have to go just a smidge darker with my brows with this particular color. So before we sort of start looking at this a little closer, I'm going to give you a spin so you can see what this looks like all the way around. This has a beautiful lace front, I have to say, and it goes temple to temple. This lacing goes all the way down to here on both sides. I mean, it kind of tapers as it gets down there. So you have excellent lace coverage, if you will, with this style. So, you know, it just helps it kind of get that look of it growing out of the side of your head, you know, all the way where that lace is. Beautiful feature. So I pull out just the littlest bit of my own hair. I mean, very little bit, but you'd be surprised you don't need much if you have your own hair there. That's what I like to do. Now, my hair grows out all the way to here, and this is quite a dark color, and my hair is a very gray, mousy brown. So I would want to use some fill-in powder for sure. It just kind of boosts my confidence a little more, and I would take that and go ahead and, you know, even coat this little bit that is my hair all the way down. Fill-in powder, if you're not aware when I say that, it's just root powder. So you can order this online. I may even have this in my Amazon shop where I put all my favorite things. You can get it off of Ulta.com as well. And that's what they are. They're just fill-in powders, and they are waterproof. They tend to be a little gritty, and that actually helps to give, again, a little bit of body to that fine hair, makes it look, it just makes it look more like hair, even though you are putting it over the top of hair. So it's definitely a better option, in my opinion, than using just eyeshadow, because eyeshadow, while it will sort of coat the skin, it doesn't give body to the hair like this does. And that's important. The other thing eyeshadow doesn't do is it's not waterproof. So if you sweat, if it's a little rainy, it has the potential of disappearing or even running down the side of your face. Whereas fill-in powders like this, they just do not do that. So you're good. This one is quite inexpensive comparably to what you can pay. I probably go through it a little faster, but that's okay. I could buy 3 versus the one of other brands that are 3 times more expensive. So I'm okay with that. It works great. You can get them in different colors. Dark brown is really a great one for me because I can use it. It would be great for this one. It works with most of my wigs and the rooting color that I have. Probably I don't use this with Palm Springs Blonde or with Shaded Biscuit. It's just a little too dark and a little too warm for those particular shades, but all of the other ones, this works great. So it's just a confidence builder for me, and hey, you know, do what works for you and gives you that confidence so you can head out that door feeling really good. By the way, it comes with a stippling brush, so and this works great. I find that this is fabulous. So the color, loving. This is a beautiful color for fall, I think. I am very pleased with this. I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure. I think color is the hardest part of picking out a wig, especially if you are just not familiar with that brand yet. You've never seen or tried their colors. It is a gamble. So I do what you guys do. I get on YouTube and start putting in just the color. It's like at this point, I don't care what the style is. I just want to see the color. And I will watch and try to find as many as I can so I can see all the different lighting and all of that. Really pretty sort of butterscotch kind of going in the background here with a really pretty highlight. And the other thing I'm noticing too about the highlights is while they're very dynamic, this color is quite dynamic and I love that. But it's not so chunky that it's like zebra stripes. I don't like that at all. And there are some colors that I have been very almost ready to jump on and try, but then I don't like the way it looks up here. It looks really zebra-like, so I shy away. This one does not do that at all. And that rooting I think was done really well. And they didn't make that highlight just really go right up to the base of the cap. And I like that. I want to remind you that you can find all the specs to this down in the description box. You will also find a link to it that will take you directly to it on Wigs by Patti's Pearls website. I highly recommend Wigs by Patti's Pearls. Not only is it a very legitimate online wig shop, they have excellent customer service. Don't hesitate to reach out to them. Give them a call if you have questions or concerns, because they really do have very caring people there that are more than willing to help you. So you'll find that link. You'll find information about this wig, including how much it weighs, what the lengths are on this. So don't forget to peruse down there in the description area. So now this has some really pretty sort of face framing layers, a very choppy sort of wispy, you can't even call this a bang, but it's there and I love it because it does give a very pretty sort of face framing kind of situation going on here, and I really like that. Kind of gives us a little swoopiness. Even these aren't all one length from here to here. We have, some very light layers here around the face there with that. As for the rest of it, again, it doesn't go all the way. There's just a very light sort of layering, which is going to give this more dimension and just a lighter feel and look. I like that this is here and that these layers are not completely all one length from there, because I think it's just more becoming. I think that it gives the illusion of some sort of face framingness going on, and I think that's just a very light feminine look for us older, more mature people. You could absolutely quite easily sort of wisp in a more precise bang, a true bang. You could do that. So the two hairsprays that I tend to grab for my wigs is the Beauty Mark Style and Hold. This is a sort of wet, sticky, non-aerosol pump spray. However, it, for these synthetic hairsprays, it does work pretty good. I have tried about 5 different hairsprays made for synthetic fibers, and I find that it's really tough to find one that acts like a traditional hairspray. They tend to either not be very sticky at all, but then they don't work so well, or they become so sticky and wet that it's just like, no. This one lands in the middle, and so there is some stickiness. It is a little wet, but it's not as much as I've experienced with others. This is a human hairspray. They do not recommend that you use human hairsprays on these synthetic fibers because the alcohol content is usually quite high, and that's going to dry these fibers out. I still prefer to use a little. This is more of what I would consider for me a finishing spray. I'll do sort of the bulk of my styling with this, but I like to finish it off with this. It's an aerosol. It gives me more of a light, airy feeling and look. And so I go sparingly and I will just put it out there. This is something I use. This is the Sebastian Reshaper, but use with your own discretion. And I definitely am going to just say I don't recommend it, but it is something that I do. So I'm first going to go in with this and just going to kind of get this going here. Just kind of give it a moment, you know, to dry just a little bit, and it works great. This is Verona by Estetica in the color RH12. I'm having a hard time with this. Let me get my glasses on. Okay, got the glasses on. This is Verona by Estetica in the color RH12 26 RT4. So go ahead and let me know what you think about this down below. And again, if you're familiar with Estetica and if you have a favorite style, let me know. If you found this helpful, I hope you give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I sure hope you do. Hit that bell notification because it will let you know the very second I upload a new video. With that said, be on the lookout because I have another style coming at you very, very soon. So we will be having another wig chat in the not so distant future. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I appreciate you so very much, and I will see you in the next video.